welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the Old World. I'm one of your hosts, Gummo. I'm joined as usual by Andrew and Josh. I was just going to say, we're quenching the thirst of the drought that is Old World. I was going to change it on the fly, though. That's getting a bit too ambitious. So,
You're
I don't know about you guys, but there is nothing out there at the moment, is there? Well, we're still here. Welcome,
yeah,
everyone.
but we're still here, and we've actually got lots of stuff. I think we're going to fill up the 2 hours quite easily. And and next week we've got. Well, apparently we're doing the Snake Eye list next week. Apparently
we are. Yep, I didn't tell you guys, but they told you, so that's good.
Yeah.
I said yes to it.
Well, I told the community, and then I was like, "Oh, sorry, really? Oh, okay. Am I?"
That's it.
I love it.
I mean, yes,
at the time, I was Lockie was mentioning it to me, and then I was like, yeah, and that was like a week and a half ago, and I was like, I've got time to tell you guys, and then I forgot to tell you. So there you go. I was like, that's weeks away.
Yeah, that's it.
Next week, next minute.
So yes, we'll run through.
Stay tuned for a riveting 44 list episode where we.
Yeah, I think we'll
go. Yeah, with
maybe
a fine tooth comb over every single list, one by one, right? For 4.5 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I agree. Team by team, and then sort of do it as a block. Yeah. Anyway, that's next week's problem.
Yeah, that's next week. So if you want to, definitely. If only the Snake Eye organizer had their own channel to go through them. I know they're trying.
Well,
touche.
One day.
But yes, that's next week. That's episode 147. Episode 146.
I know. What are we talking about next week?
Is as dry as the Old World news is. The tournament scene is still flying along. There is events. There was one this weekend at Games Workshop as well. Warhammer World, 60-something players as well. Big tournament. Nottingham. So like there's big tournaments, and not only that, over here there's a bunch of GTs coming up, including 2 from us, which we want to run through this week.
In different states, but yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And also the Western Sydney Wargamers, I nearly got it wrong. First Blood, their first GT.
Fatal Combat, Cold Blood, Fall.
I think Rambo. Rambo First Blood.
Rambo First Blood.
Wait, so this is the First Blood, but the Fall was like Third Blood? Or is it? I mean, it's appropriate for me because it'll be the first time we're playing in Oldhammer. So for me, totally.
Well, I think it's First Blood because it's the first GT. Is that right? I don't know. The others are all just named after seasons.
Hopefully, John's on soon. Oh, he's on.
He is.
Hopefully, he can clarify
John was
what the meaning of the First Blood is. Unless that was the first event they started with originally in the series. Does he call them all the same every year, or does he come up with different names every year?
No, there's different season ones every time. They're subtly different, and that's what gets confusing when you start going, hang on. Fatal, I don't know. Yeah. So autumn, one was autumn. There was spring something as well. Yeah, it's cool. They're very creative. And as a result, so we want to talk through some of their pack. Yeah, first GT.
First GT. All right, cool.
I already talked to John about this because he asked me way before. Once he knew we were doing Castle Assault and he knew his one was just before it, that he said, do you want to, is there any way they could have theirs as I shouldn't say it this way because it sounds like ours is bigger, but it's not. Could theirs be similar? Should we talk to see if there was any commonality between, like comp or scenario so people can have a warm-up event type thing for Castle as well. So we did chat about that and we went different ways. Yeah.
First Blood, definitely a warm-up event for Castle Assault.
Yeah. Let's be realistically, we just thieved half the stuff from John. So that's what we're going to go through today.
Oh, can you write that back for us?
That's right. Because John said they're just the Western City Wargamer guys are so good at writing interesting packs. But anyway, we're going to run through theirs because I thought that was cool. And it does, it's a little bit preamblish to some of the stuff that's going to be in the Castle Assault pack. But Josh, in between that, sandwiched in the middle is some goodness.
Sandwich in the middle.
Josh's
delicious pastrami of a really nice Reuben.
Yes. We want to... Yeah, and then, of course, I'm not giving any spoilers away, we were so close, Josh, weren't we, and Andrew, to talking, basically building an Old World Fanatic comp after talking to you, Josh.
Oh, we were. We were
on Monday,
there
last
was
Monday.
negotiations going on.
and then it fell apart by the end of the
and it
week.
fell
We
apart.
just moved away. So there is no old
War's back up.
comp.
Yeah.
There's no peace agreement signed yet.
Just add another comp into the mix.
Yeah. So a little bit of fun. But anyway, I think all of it then ties into what Josh wanted to talk about after the second half two about wish listing for
If we have time.
Because I feel like that's
I'd love
half
to.
the things that you're doing with comp packs
Mm.
is not comp packs, players packs is sort of not only trying to make it interesting to keep things fresh, but you are also doing a little bit of comping. And so we wanted to have a chat about
So to
what
speak,
FAQs
yes.
things and stuff would be
And
interesting or might
ironically,
come up before June.
All three of these events are going to be occurring after said FAQ, assuming there is an FAQ. Which but is there any official confirmation there definitely is? Have they mentioned? They've had no articles to mention it. We're just all assuming.
Well, no. Well, they did. No, they did say something about 6 months. Now, it's not that they said it's
Yeah.
going to be out June 14 or something like that. They just said every 6 months. So should be good. Okay. Anyway, that's enough rambling about what's coming. We can get into it in a minute. I will give our shout outs quickly to our if you're first time listening or thousandth time listening or 100,000, which is how many downloads our podcast has had audio wise, well over 100,000, which I saw today, which is kind of crazy that many people want to listen to us audibly, just in audio, the audio downloads.
The audio downloads in total over the 2.5 years or so
Yeah.
is like 100. Oh my God.
That's
insane.
But people obviously like it. So if you do please subscribe, leave some comments like people are right now in the live chat. We're here every Monday, Australian time, sometimes Tuesday. And we have a bunch of patrons in there who help support the show. Big thank you. So big thank you. They all get a shout out at halftime. And I think, Josh, you said there is a few questions thrown in there as well, as usual.
Yeah, and they're actually, I got some wish listing going on from the patrons.
Cool.
And also some questions about rankings and that kind of thing too. So
what's
sort of a continuation of what Patty brought up the other week when she was querying rankings points and how that works with different events.
What's these ads? Do we have ads on the stream? Or did I click a button?
Oh, no.
Sorry, Silver
They've
Dave.
sold-
I didn't even know it did.
Oh, well, Fanatics have sold out.
I know we have ads on the normal videos. I wasn't sure how that worked. Okay. We'll look into that. Or at least, I don't care if the odd one's there, but not if it's every bloody 5
not
minutes.
if it's all the time. That would be kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind if it's like every now and then. I mean, you can, Silver Dave, you can pay for a YouTube membership with YouTube and you don't you don't get ads. I don't see ads because I pay for the YouTube family thing, so I never get any ads.
Ooh.
So you sort of forget about it. You don't see it. So you're like, oh, okay, what ads? Anyway, sorry, Silver Dave. Shout out to Silver Dave. He's got a tournament running this weekend in Sydney. Speak of tournaments, another one. So is that sold out, Dave? I can't remember, but if not, it's Battle of the Breweries down in Marrickville. They're going to be drinking some grifters. That's very Aussie. People probably don't know what that is. Anyway, cool. Let's get on to some things. Where do we want to start? Bring up the pack, and I've just lost my screen. Actually, no, sorry. I will give someone a shout out first. Just if you don't mind 2 seconds of listening to me. I did all 12 spots taken. Cool. Okay. Well, there is no spare spots, so there you go. I did want to give a guy called Gideon a blog on, I guess it's on the intranet. He's been posting stuff on Reddit saying he has a book. So for people who like the history of Games Workshop, which I actually do, and people probably know that about me, there's a few books that I've bought and that have come out. This guy's also writing a book. I'll put it in the show notes. It's basically going to be called The Forging of Worlds, and it's basically the history of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Roleplay, and 40K, published by the MIT Press. Apparently it's coming out pretty soon, so he's been starting to lay the groundworks in Reddit and stuff like that. So I just thought, hey, got a lot of old world listeners. Maybe I'll give him a shout out. So I'll put that on the show notes. If you're the type of person who likes reading books about the history of where our time suck came from, what we spend all our time doing now, It's just pretty interesting sort of read and takes you back nostalgia, back to your childhood probably. So yeah, I'll put that in there. Forging of Worlds. So I'm not sure how the book, if it's print or whatever, but yeah, it's going to be out. So definitely check it out. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool. There's definitely a few of these type of things popping out, which is I find pretty interesting.
Yeah,
at the time to read them, that is, but yeah. Cool. Oh, let's go through a couple of packs and see how different tournament organisers are trying to keep things fresh, I guess.
Before we start, I'll make an announcement. As I told the guys before, just in case anybody's probably wondering why I sound more nasally and dwarf-like, as you boys called me before. I've got a man flu. Well, it's not really man flu, but I've got quite an aggressive head cold going on, very stuffy. So we'll see how we go. If nobody can understand me, I'll just let these two fine gentlemen talk, and I'll just do what I do best and just sit here and look ugly. Sounds good.
All good, man. No, you sound fine, but yes, very, very deep, and obviously, blessed you with his blessings. So.
It's terrifying.
It is terrible. It is.
Or maybe Clan Pestilence for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool. Oldhammer, First Blood. Man, I love the graphics on their packs. They're so simple and good. But anyway, we probably won't go through the whole. Obviously, it's just standard sort of pack, but we want to check out basically what do you reckon, Josh? The comps and then the scenarios. Is that where we want to go with this?
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
so 2,000 points, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, I was going to say. Yeah. No, go for it. If you want, do you want to give a bit of a run through?
Bit of an overview. No, I can do it. Yeah. So 50% characters, so 1,000 points. Maximum 500 points for a single character or unit. The typical unit selection restriction, although it's only up to 2.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. Characters. Yeah.
Rather than 3. Yeah, cool. And then up to 4 of the same core, 3 of special, 2 of rare or mercenary. And renegades are allowed. Probably.
Highly encouraged.
As all major tournaments should be. And then the cutoffs are for when lists are due. And then they have a bunch of specific or army-specific restrictions. So 4 of them. One of it is that now the BSBs are allowed back in the hangar. They're allowed on the battlefield again for undead. He's rolled it back slightly, and they're just limited to can't re-roll leadership chests for a rise or invocation of the heck. It's very specific, actually.
Yeah, it is, and I like this one, and I without putting words in John's mouth, I don't think he likes this, but anyway, he folded.
Well, he didn't. He was very hard. We've had extensive discussions with him off and on over the months.
Yeah.
He was really adamant, but no. I don't. Was he outvoted, or how did it? If he doesn't,
I don't know. I don't know how that. Yeah,
it's undead.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. And then, but there is a vampire count ethereal specific one, which is you can only take up to 3 units with ethereal special rule as a vampire count army. Have we had problems with ethereals? I mean, I guess it's just the amount of banshees on the board.
There has been. I guess one thing for people who don't know too much, like outside of like the Western Sydney Wargamer crew, they're probably running the most frequent and biggest tournaments one dayers. I don't know. Tell me, like Rob Squarebase do more tournaments, but they're only 24 people because that's all that Rob's Squarebase place can hold. These guys are running every quarter, easily hitting 40, 46, 48. So that's pretty healthy. And so I think what's interesting with these guys is they're able to see what the change in some of those comp things they've played around with have done. And so, for example, with the Vamps, when they sort of cranked up Don't Take a BSB, it's sort of, was there 1 or 2 out of 2 tournament, 46 player tournaments, there was like 1 Vamps that came or something.
Yeah.
2. So it probably, I don't know, I'm assuming they've responded a bit to that. Yeah.
Playing back.
And there was a few screen list in the early ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. The next one is, this is to try to get the wild herds under control. Those herds are running amok. The Beast Wild Herds can't stack the casting bonus from Dark Sorcery and Dark Coven special rule. Very reasonable change. Just
So yeah, for those who don't know that, that's basically you can't do the Wild Herd +1 if you're close to command range of another model, like another shaman, and you can't use the Herd Stone. You got to choose which one.
Yeah, so you're not getting +2 to cast anymore for
Or you can still, I guess you can still use the dagger. So you could get +4 to cast still, but you probably can't get +5. Is that right? Maybe there's other ways too. Just can't remember.
+5. Oh my god, I didn't realize you could get to +5.
Yeah.
Jesus. Jeez.
Yeah, dagger is one guy. Yeah, so you can you can still murder your Ungors. So it's always fun.
All right, and last one, Grand Cathay may only take up to 3 Shijingan characters.
Nice.
Pretty fair.
Yeah.
They're pretty good Shijingan. Well, they seem to be increasingly good the more you put on. So I think when you're getting to like 4 or 5, it's just getting ridiculous and slightly unpleasant to play. So I think 3 is very fair.
Yeah, well, they're sort of like what elves should be. Oh, maybe that's preempting. I feel like they come in and do what elves should do. But anyway, But the interesting thing with these guys is they've gone tiered. It's the first time. Well, I shouldn't say first time. They've always
not the
tiered.
first. They've had a little bit of a hint of tiering, isn't it? Like they've had 5 or 6 factions with an extra 100 points or something like that. Just a little bit.
Sprinkling.
You're right, though. This is full tier, not just with 4 full tiers, but with KPM factoration, which I think you've managed to incorporate into.
That is in Old World rankings
right?
now, yes, automatically. So now you can set up tiering. It's the step. Josh got all excited there for a bit, thinking I'd add.
Oh, I did, because you had a whole comp thing, and I was like, oh, you can go comp. And then I went and
it's just for tiering at the moment, but that's just a step forward. It's coming.
So that means essentially you can put in your victory points, and you don't have to times it by that factor. Old World rankings just does it for you.
Yeah.
Which, thank God, because that would actually be quite.
Yeah.
Too much maths. People would fuck
too
it up.
much maths. Yeah.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law. Most people get it right, but then you'll get that like 1 in 20. They will just get it wrong, and it'll just be, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's been.
They'll realise they got it wrong.
That's been generous, Josh.
Is that generous? But I mean,
it is funny how so many people get the
so
scores
many
wrong,
games
they flip them wrong, they don't do stuff, but they play this game, which is way complex. Maybe that's the thing, you were so in the game. Anyway, that's outside of that, yes. But yes, we got our first time Oldhammer's run these tiers. Now, this is not square-based tiering. It's not I keep calling it, what's the other one? TAT, but what's it actually stand for? Can't remember. But TAT comp.
Something.
Tabletop.
Table tennis. Tabletop. Tappity tap.
So it's probably more. I think we all were a little bit when we saw square based first. We were like, oh, that's a lot of points. Like I think it went up to 2,600, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was 200 points per tier. Yeah. So
got quite high.
2,600 below.
Yeah.
Which was very high.
Yeah, but this one is only 4 levels, goes up to 2,300. And I, again, we haven't talked to John about this specifically, but this is because it's in July, we're always assuming that these renegades are all the version 2 renegades all coming out. So as a result, a lot of them are in, or maybe all of them.
They're all in A tier, I think, by default.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fair enough because we just don't know where they'll sit. Do you want to run through the comps then?
The tiers? Yeah, sure. I'll just read them out. Right. Okay. So, wait. Policeman Breakers. Okay. So, S tier is your Grand Army and Wild Herd of Beastmen, which is interesting because they've had that comp, but that he's still, which is pretty significant, but he still kept them up in S tier. Like that's the thing. Like you got to look at how the comp interacts with these tiers as well.
We're dealing with that. Yeah.
And then you got Grand Cathay up there, Kingdom of Bretonia, Trim Kings, and Vampire Counts. So all at S tier. I guess because they got their BSBs back, they can flag that banner. Then back in A tier. So to 2,100 points, you got all of the legacies. So Chaos Wolves, Demons, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, Ogres, Skaven, Oh, okay.
Yeah,
apart from
advanced
vampire
readiness.
counts, but
Yeah,
they're at the
yeah,
top.
Yep.
And then Expeditionary Force, Shration
And-
Warhost for Hiles.
Sorry, yeah.
Goblins,
So-
Dwarf Realms, Wild Hunt.
John just said, just to add on to that, Josh, that's obviously assuming, that 2.0 is going to bring them up. So
Yeah.
hence why they're all in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Sorry to interrupt.
So yeah, so Wild Hunt is in A tier as well. And then B tier 2200. So that's Bloodherd, Dwarven Grand Army, Raw Clan, Empire, Hiles, Grand Army, Nomadic War, and the Grand Army of Wood Elves. And then C tier 3300. We got Slayer Hosts. These are the worst. So Knightly Orders, Seaguard, Troll Horde, Renegade, Crowns, and Host of Taliesin.
Yeah.
It's not helping Seaguard, I'll be honest, right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mark can back me up. He's played a bit of Seaguard recently, and he felt the pain.
Yeah.
Does the Slayer Host, do that need 33% core? Was that another one that I forgot about? Or was that on 25% core?
I can't remember, man. Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, I'm not sure.
To look out. Well, they don't really have much.
I can't remember which
else to
book it
use, do
is.
they?
What book is it?
Yeah, there's not. There's
Oh,
not
it's
a
in
lot.
that
Nice.
first. It's in the first. The one with Cetra's Fury.
Oh, yeah. Such a
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah, because I looked up the dwarf and I'm like, it ain't there. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I should know this,
Oh,
but
I was in the Renegade Crowns book. Oh,
Isn't that it?
yeah. Yeah, it's in that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's the one that was like weird stuff. All not.
Oh,
weird,
no, it
but-
wasn't 33%. It was actually less. It was 20%.
Oh, 20%. There you go.
oh, there
Oh,
you
so
go.
they've actually gone-
Slayers.
Oh no!
They can only pick Slayers.
and you've nerfed them with yours. We'll get to that in a
Well,
minute.
I haven't nerfed them, but yeah.
Oh no, you haven't. No, because you
That's the way
spelt it out. No,
rules is
that's
written.
right. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry guys, that's a bit of a.
No, cool. So, I mean, overall,
Spoiler.
I guess, I don't know. I'm starting to melt to the tiers a little bit, which is weird. Originally, I wasn't. Now I'm like, cool. If it brings more of these bottom ones to the table, I'm pretty happy with it. Having said that, when we get to Josh's, different attempt at trying to do some of that, which is interesting. So I like that.
Sort of.
Victory points. They've changed this a little bit. Win, loss, draw, then head to head. Then be battle points and tiebreakers. So strength of schedule's been dropped as the second tie.
Oh, it's been dropped?
First tiebreaker for head to head, which is kind of cool. Or interesting.
Oh, sorry. Head to head is strength of schedule, is it? Is
well,
that
no,
what
I think
that
it's
means?
literally head to head, isn't it? So,
Yeah, but you wouldn't have played against a person before in that
well, you could have.
event.
You could have ended up 4-1. Each of you ended up as 4-1.
Yeah.
But then if you had beaten them, if their loss was to you, then you would beat them on that tiebreaker.
Oh, in terms of placing at the end, because I'm thinking in pairings, it's irrelevant because you're not going to be drawn.
Oh,
against
no,
the
no.
same person again. But you're right
No,
for
this is,
placing.
yes, placing. Yeah.
Cool. No, okay, I like that. Is that a thing in Oval ranking settings? So you can do head to head for placing.
Yeah. Don't know if it
is?
works. Gotta love AI, hey. I'll have to test that one. We've got a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll find out. We have a big tournament in which they can test it for us and find out.
No, it'll be tested. I'll double check that. But yes, it's all unit tested, so it should. There's like 6,000 automated tests on Old World Rankings, so it's trying to keep most stuff running.
Ooh.
But yes, it runs. Destroyed units give up their points. Units will give up. But this is all
So
pretty
50%
standard.
gives 50%.
50%. Yeah.
Fleeing gives 50%. That's cumulative. And then the KPM maths is there. Standards are worth 50. General's worth 100.
Yeah.
And then they've got all the different. So is it a 250 steps for each one?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
That's all pretty normal. I won't go through it. Let's just jump into the.
let's hit the scenarios.
The scenarios, yes, because interestingly, you go through here and there was nothing about like scoring units or because usually.
Oh, was there anything in there?
Western Sydney Wargamers, you get like a whole like what's a scoring unit? Is it unit strength 10? And then you go, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because wait, so with the missions there, on that page about mission, is there anything on there that's relevant to scoring or? No, that's just all the deployment and stuff. Oh, okay. Yep. Interesting.
It's interesting. So then you go down round 1, King of the Hill. That hill is not just earth and stone, it is victory itself. Earn 100 victory points at the end of your turn if you have the highest number of friendly banners on the hill. Now, I believe, let me see, sorry, is there a description of that? Oh, there's not. Okay.
Ooh.
Interestingly, as I understand it, it's the banner model on the hill. Maybe it's in their facts somewhere. So it's
right.
not.
So it's the model itself. I mean,
Yes.
it is such a short sentence that you can't really interpret any other way, but you kind of want to. Because, it's like, is it the unit with the banner? What does it mean? But it's just written the number of banners on the hill, isn't it? Like, it's just, you can't,
That's what I love about it.
you can't argue with it. It's so simple.
So you just count it. How many? That one. Okay. That you've got more.
That many banners. Banner model, baby. Yeah.
So, I like the simplicity of it. Yeah.
It is very.
It is good.
Right in the middle. And for those who might complain about the 5 pieces of terrain on there, I will say they do put other random water features and linear obstacles around the place. So that's what they're representing in these pictures is the standard sort of impassable forest hill, but there's always extra stuff on there.
And they're decent sized pieces of terrain as well. Like they're
Well,
not.
some of the building things are massive, eh? Like they're big impassables. Yeah.
And they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
So that's cool. So domination. Okay, so banners here. So then you go surround them. Number 2 is domination. Earn 150 victory points at the end of the game for each table quarter that you control. Okay, pretty cool. Controls determined by whoever has the highest number of banners within it.
Oh, so banners again. Just banners.
Just
what
banners.
the hell?
Just banners.
So nothing. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No unit strength. No. Am I a chariot? Am I not? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's the banner twist coming up.
It's like it's just like one sentence, 2 sentences, and it's like that's it. Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Cool.
Simple.
Yeah.
Just remember how simple this is when you're looking at Castle Assaults one. This is the opposite. Anyway, upon the fields of glory, round 3. You know what must be done. Do it. Crush your enemies and see them driven before you.
Okay. So you do it. You must do it, I guess. So that's what you do.
Just do it.
So I guess the is this the one that I'm thinking it is? Oh no, it's not. It's a different one. Okay, but you still can kill banners here, but it's just a normal game.
Yeah, but it's just normal. Like literally, that's just battle line.
Yeah, and it's game 3.
It makes sense. Take game 3 of day 1. Sure.
Yep. And then round 4, first game back for the second day, breakthrough, and look at the deployment, everyone. Where does that come from?
Ridiculous.
Someone picked up the big red book, not the big blue book.
Yeah.
I like it though. I used to like that one.
Something
Bit annoying
different,
to play,
yeah.
but,
Battle for the past scenario. Yeah.
Battle for the past. For those who are listening, yes, it's the lengthways deployment, like going.
So 150 VP for each friendly banner in your enemy's deployment zone at the end of the game, which could be quite a bit. And then impassable terrain, just as the old Battle for the Past was. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you just pretty much want to try to it's a breakthrough style. Yeah. Cool.
Straight across. Yeah. Stop them getting in yours. Yep. That's cool. So all of these, they're like, everything's just banners, not sizes, not anything. No unit strength, no leadership tiebreakers, just banners. And then round 5, raise the banners. You earn 100 VP for every destroyed enemy banner, so it's double what it would be.
Yes.
And this replaces the usual captured banners rule. A destroyed BSB is 200, an extra 100, so it's 200. So basically, all those banners you brought, they're a liability. Game 5.
Coming back to haunt you.
I love what he comes up with.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so funny. Yeah. Just great.
That's
And it's the final game too. It's just the main, like sometimes it'll be like defining a lot of places and who does well or not. And suddenly, you've leaned into doing really well in all these scenarios leading up to it with all these freaking banners. Suddenly you're like, oh no, I've got 20 banners in my army. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Love it. I didn't realize he had this at the end. This is so funny.
Now, Josh, you're coming to this one, hey? This is the one we're both.
I guess I should be.
Cool.
I'm doing some banners for it.
Mm.
Or not, as the case may be, depending on if you want to build for the last scenario or not.
Yeah, that's
only
it's
one
one
out
of
of
those
5.
interesting ones, isn't it? Where you're like, yeah, I don't know. This one, sometimes you can do that. This pack feels like you probably do have to lean in a bit to them.
Oh,
so.
yeah, it's because there's 3 scenarios where it massively is helpful.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
Pretty helpful in terms of victory points.
Mm.
Well, they've done another. That's good. I like it. Simple. Game over. Maddie wants game over rematch round 1. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'd love to add the grade.
because you're coming too, right?
Rankings. Yeah, I need to do that.
Not just
me on there.
Nice.
But yeah, unless the only thing is, Maddie, unless someone I haven't played wants to, but wants to stomp me, it's up to you guys. But otherwise, yeah, I'm cool with that. Maddie won't be sick this time. Well, hopefully.
Yep.
Got a scary list you might be bringing back, possibly.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't even know what I'm going to take. There's enough time to maybe get something painted up, or is that for Castle? I don't know. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, you talking about the one I played against you?
Similar style, and you're talking about some other possible things you're thinking about.
Yeah, well, I want to look. I haven't really looked back. Like, I want to revisit, especially now because of Castle, like the tier list, have a play around with that. And I think you'll want to do that too. Well, we can get to that later in hobby maybe. Because I was thinking with the list you sent on us chat, Andrew, we could play that pretty soon. I've got everything for that, like for a battle report.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like you could just use mine.
Ooh. And I can use some of mine as well. Because
well, you have okay. We'll talk about that in hobby. Okay, cool. Well, that is. I was going to say Fatal Fall, First Blood. That is cool. Oh, see, look, Gummo's bringing demons. Yeah, mate. Yeah, you know what? Maybe let's do that.
Well, they might. They're actually probably. Well,
I know. Well, they will be. They'll be out.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully hear about it in the next couple of weeks. I think he said he's doing them.
You know what?
Yeah,
I need to have we need to do not a live stream, a video with me learning how to use those fluoro paints that Ghost uses so I can paint my bases. Anyway, let's get on with your pack, Josh. Do you have it to share?
No. I mean, I could. It's in the
Yeah, I know. I just thought you had it on you and I didn't grab it out of the chat. I've got ours, but I didn't have yours. Sorry.
All right,
I can go back and get.
All right, you guys do it.
All right.
Need some sweet elevator music while we're waiting.
That's not it.
There we go. Oh, hold on.
It's coming up.
So you do better at zooming this crap in.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Why is that? Why is it so weird?
Man, we're great podcasters here. Where is your pack? It's so far back in the chat.
This is a link to it. Oh, there's no one.
Oh, in the show notes. You think I'd use that?
Yeah, it's in the show notes, man.
Josh does all this good stuff now, and I just ignore it. Do you want me to bring it up, or you're right? No, that's good. That works. Black Arrow GT.
Cool. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Yep. Black Arrow GT, guys. It's happening. 2250 points. So this is on early August. So this is 3 weeks after Fatal First Blood, and 2 weeks before Castle. And I was asked even at Blighted Harvest whether or not the Castle pack comp would be similar to this one, or at least fairly compatible. And I would argue it is similar. Well, although if you go into this, it might be a bit different now. But it's definitely not the same. Anyway,
it almost was. We were close.
We were close. We actually
changed
were close. So you got to bring some baggage tray, the objective marker. I've got some awards lined out, that type of thing. Now, I do have soft score still. So, my last 2 events have been like this, and this one's going to be no different. The battle points is going to be more, though, as a proportion. So it's up to 100 points versus 30 and 30. Whereas before, I think it was 32 to 15 kind of thing. And with I'm going 20-0 with the VPs, which apparently is also all three of these events are really, rather than lost draw, that type of thing. But I have, because I do have some chunky victory points going on in these following scenarios, so I have actually spread out the differential a bit. So I got 250 initially for the first 3 bands, and then it goes to 300 bands, and then the last 3 is 350 bands, so it gets up to 3,000 in total.
Okay.
And it caps out there. But I will say that the victory points available are pretty substantial. So army construction and comp, Old War Fanatics. I feel like we can still call it Old Fanatics comp. It's close enough, and we're not in the same state. People mostly aren't going to go to both, so it's close enough. It's close enough, guys. So in terms of the army construction, it's 2250, but the characters are 850. So a little bit under 1,000, but enough to get quite a lot in.
Can I butt in? I'm getting feedback, and I don't know who that is.
I can hear a little bit too.
Who knows that is?
I don't know.
Is it
when
I'm talking?
Might be. Not worry.
Well, just deal with it.
Anyway, I have upped the cap of the units to 600 because I feel like these are going to be bigger armies. I kind of want to open it up a little bit. I considered removing that entirely, to be honest.
I'm just going let the percentage play into whatever it would
just
be.
do whatever size you wanted.
Yeah.
But 600 lets you get a little bit more nasty dragons and stuff, which I kind of want to see running around. But my attempt for what it's worth.
Did I just miss that? You got the 850 max.
850 characters, max characters.
So what percentage is that without me having to do the maths?
37.
37. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then max character, single unit or character of 600 points. So you could go max 600 and then have a few hundred points left over for another little character if you like. But that's the fun of building units like that. You've got to make a choice. But then in my feeble attempt at bringing some of the less common armies in, I have actually been pretty much any army list that's 33% core. Just run it as 25% core.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. There's so many armies that really get quite badly inhibited by it, or at least it's just another layer of not great, on top of every other sort of restriction they have. So I'm happy to do that. There are a couple of lists that do benefit from it that probably don't need it. Because I think you were saying the
well, I think Wild Herd as well, and
was Wild Herd 33. Well, that's fine. In this comp, I don't think it'll matter.
No,
is it errantry and
the Royal
the
Heralds?
Kings?
Not real. The Tomb King one, and
stuff.
and
Anyway, I'm
errantry
sticking with it.
Yeah.
But that's because of some of the other comp that I've got going on that those lists aren't going to go.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear feedback because we were just chatting about that. That's one of the ones we came up with in our chat the other day, and we just went, with that. I know it doesn't move the needle heaps, but certainly, I don't know, they can leverage some better troops and not so much crap and core. So I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I do have a unit duplication limit, but and I think I'm not sure whose idea
that
was
was mine,
but
but
anyway,
Josh,
we
I had
both
to
ended up
change it.
adapting it.
Yeah, well, I brought it up the other day when on the pod we were talking about it. It's actually, I think I adjusted it to just be characters because I think it's technically a bit confusingly wrong otherwise.
In what way?
So when you look at a unit, you end up with the unit and a boss under it. It looks weird, and it's like for example, I looked at the Night Goblin one. I went, "Oh, hang on, what does that even mean? You can't." Two
right.
Night Goblin units and one boss, and that's it. So I've changed it just to go. It's exactly what we've done there, but character unit archetypes because I don't really. I think your other stuff hits the core one anyway.
I mean, if you just say not include champions,
we could. But just factor that in. Yeah.
The intent is not too much duplication of units within a unit category or unit archetype. So that's like, I mean, it was aimed at Shijenkan Lords and maybe Beastman Shaman, just so you can't have so many of them and that type of thing. Really lean into duplication, but it works across the thing. So it does implicitly then limit how many blocks of Night Goblin infantry you can take and that type of thing too.
Yeah.
I think it just encourages more variety across the board. I did exclude detachments because I think Renegade's Crown starts to get hurt by it because a lot of their veterans and their sellswords and stuff are all in the same category. So kind of if you can run them as attachments, it at least opens things up a bit. And that's the 3 across the board, except for rare, which are 2. Now in the other comp, so I've got Frostbound Sorcery. It's Winter's Reckoning, guys, which is a wizard can't get more than +1 to their casts and Castle Dispel beyond what they get from their wizard level. Which I think that's going to change the dynamic quite a bit, especially for Wild Herd especially, but a couple others that can lean into it and really leverage it. And then the monstrous bulk rule, which is any monstrous infantry or cav is open order and not skirmish, which again, it brings the Bretts right back and makes them have to really rely on their knights, which I'd argue is healthier for the game.
Yeah.
And then the BSBs are allowed, but they don't grant rerolls for failed leadership checks. Which I think that's fine.
Yeah, so yours are a bit more. That undead one's a bit more like stricter than Western City Wargames.
Well, a little bit. I mean, I'd be happy to talk that out.
Here's a dissenting view of what we're actually trying to. We'll probably get into this later, but this is interesting. I don't know who this is. Noob Lord 365. I fucking hate rule of 3 and all things like this. Just let people take spam. I don't know why people find it more tasteful to be beat by like a salad of different units instead of 5 of the same unit.
I feel like
I love you. I love you,
comment, so explains itself really. Like, I would hate to be beaten by 5 of the same units and nothing. Okay, great.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Funny.
Gotcha.
Totally missed that. That's funny. We're deliberately with all these trying to actually stop that.
Good job. Good job.
It's
exactly what we're trying to stop. So moving forward, scoring scenarios. So this is just defined across, similar to how Western Wargames did it, where the deployment and all the first turn stuff is all the same. I did define scoring units here as well, which is strength 10, combat order, carries a standard, and not fleeing or stupidity, which is the same as I've had in the last 2 events. And I have made a couple of definitions in there as well that if a unit has a BSB attached to it, that still counts as a standard. So that opens it up a little bit to some options if you want. Scoring unit can only control a single objective, which I think is commonly understood now since that FAQ about the match play guide. And just to make it clear, the objective markers only give victory points at the end of the controlling player's turn. But it's pretty clear with the way I've written the scenarios. And then I've got the baggage train rules there. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? You're probably never going to see it. But if you got a Slayer host, can you really make an army with only 3 of the same core units? Did you have a 3 of the same unit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'll have to look at the Slayer host. Yeah,
because one of those weird ones where you really don't get.
It's very limited. Yeah,
there's so
you never see it, so I'm like, well, it's just one of those weird ones you don't think about.
Yeah, good point. We'll see.
With Castle, and even worse because we've got tiers.
You all these points and you can't spend them on. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's probably putting this out there, and whatever feedback we'll get, maybe we'll quickly.
Yeah, we can adjust. Like this is this is probably going to need to be patched after the FAQs and that type of thing anyway.
Yeah.
So the theme of this is we've had the guys looking for the Beast of Pugno, which turned out to be a Furphy. The second one, all the harvest was failing, and it turns out it's because the guy that everyone thought turned into a donkey was actually still running around, and he was like building up this like cosmic sort of power to summon chaos again and cause another calamity in the same way that the fall of Monte Castello happened. Oh, thanks, Black Schedule. Morning. Oh, he always wakes up so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So this scenario, this is all this because all the scoring and the setup and deployment is all set up in the previous page. This is a breakthrough one. basically at the end of your turn, if you have a scoring unit within 18 inches of the opponent's table edge, you get 200 points per scoring unit. 200, not 100, not 150, 200. And at the end of your turn, if there's no enemy scoring units within your 18 inches of your table edge, you also get a bonus of 200 points. There's also baggage train on there. So the baggage train, if you destroy it, is 600 points. And if your baggage train at the end of battle is still not destroyed, 250.
That is
And
big.
all the 50
That
points.
is
That's
big.
big, isn't
I
it?
pushed some castle
How
up,
important
but
is that?
not to that point. That's very
Like,
yeah, that's
I've priced these so that you can still win the game, even if
Yeah.
you lose horribly on kill points. But if you just play for the scenario objectives, you can win.
Mm.
And win reasonable. I mean, it is bigger. It's 225. It's not 2,000.
Yeah,
but
true. Yeah.
but I want these scenarios to be essential. That if you play for it, you can just play for it and still get a lot of victory points from doing so. You know, like because there's no caps on these scoring units. You know, especially if you get a lot of scoring units through. Because I want the scoring units to be crucial for this. So scenario 2, this is Vano's arrest. So this is three villages sort of on the board, and they're just essentially just 3 objective markers. So you get 200 points at the end of your turn for each one you control. There's 3 of them on the board, so it's again quite a lot. And there's also a baggage train worth the same amount of points, so 600, 250, and then that's it for Vano's arrests. The third one,
Nice.
prisoner escort. You think you've arrested Vano. So the baggage train that you've been running for the last two games becomes mobile. It's now a prisoner carriage.
Ooh.
And that's it. So the prisoner carriage does have a little stat thing. It's got 6 tough 6 wounds, 4 up save. It's a heavy chariot. You can't make it fly. You can't give it any conveyance spells. You can triple march it if you've got a friendly infantry unit of 10 or more models within 3 inches. And if it's destroyed, it becomes an objective marker. If you move that prisoner carriage off the end of your opponent's table edge, it's 800 points, and you get 400 if you destroy it. And then because it can become an objective marker if you wreck it, that also then is 200 points at the end of your turn if you're controlling any wrecked carriage markers.
Sorry, hang on. So you can get 400 for destroying your opponent's one, and then if you hold the wreckage, it's 200 on top of that.
Yeah, but if you get shot off, if you shoot it off and it's in your opponent's side of the board, then they can hold it and get 200 points per turn. As well.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
So
there's some thought about where it ends up, you know. And obviously, if it flees, just a little bit of clarification, if it flees off the battlefield, like it counts as destroyed as well. And that includes, obviously, if it flees off your opponent's table edge somehow, then that's still destroyed, you know, like just that I'm trying to make that clear, you know, like you have to move it off rather than it flees off kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like tough 6 wounds, 4 up save. It's going to be a target, and it's worth so many victory points that, you know, it's really
and
it's going to be fairly hard to take down.
Doesn't matter when there's no wards and shit. That's what tough 6 is a break point, but not when it's just 4 up save. Anything you're hitting with that, it's not really going to get a save. So really, you just don't know what I mean, like because you probably
tough 6. Yeah, because I haven't taken your original on the save.
So it's killable.
I mean, if it gets
but
taken,
it's not a
it's
normal
definitely killable.
chariot. Yeah,
it's definitely killable. But your folks will be trying to babysit it through and get it off the outside of the board. You know,
that's awesome.
Survivable to do it.
Yeah. There's no other scoring unit thing in that one. So that's the end of day 2. I don't know. I feel like, you know, there's a lot going on in terms of what happens on the tabletop, but I don't think there's much I have to explain with these. You know, I'm sort of happy enough that these are, you know, there's not much you have to actually go through and read for each scenario. Like these are all half pages. Then day 2, scenario 4. This is my little baby that I think I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm really keen to see how this plays in real life. So this is 4 objective markers, each one A, B, C, and D. It's diagonal deployment. They're all across the middle of the table. Before deployment, each player secretly lists one of them, so like one letter, A, B, C, or D, to be their false lead, and write it down. And then in terms of victory points at the end of your turn, each of those markers are worth 250 points. But you have to track each one separately because at the end of the battle, each player reveals their false lead, and all victory points earned from controlling a false lead objective are 0.
Right.
So that could be.
Yeah.
There's
Sorry,
like so many.
It's going to be some fights, Josh. It's going to be some fights.
So does that mean like
Some
false
security at the
just
event.
for both of you? Like for
Yeah.
that one? Like okay, yeah.
All
So
victory
there's a
points.
chance too that you both might choose the same one.
Yep.
But there's also the one that you choose 2 different ones, and you both go for those other ones, and suddenly no one gets anything.
Yeah.
Like okay. I
Yeah,
like it.
that's right. Yeah, and there's so many mind games. You could fake your opponent out by going for your one that there's fake,
Mhm.
and then they're like, oh, okay, he mustn't pick that one. Like there's a lot you could do with
Yeah,
it. So
some mind games.
give some
Yeah.
mind games for it. And again,
Yeah.
there's not much to it. It's you just pick one that's fake, and then you play it out. But it's it's a lot of victory points. Again, a lot of victory points.
Mm, mm.
And then this is probably the one that's the last one. Has a little bit more going on to it, but I wanted to have a bit of a climax because this is where the villain sort of appears on the table and he's actually trying to summon his vortex, to bring down chaos, whatever he's trying to do. So it's a single objective marker at the center of the board. Again, so you've got to control it within 6 inches, with your scoring unit. But then there's a vortex that's on top of the objective marker, and the vortex is a 12-inch radius. And it escalates over the course of the game. So the first 2 turns is difficult terrain and arboreal gloom. Turn 3 and 4.
And so arboreal gloom is that's just normal.
That's just the forest
What's
rule.
that rule? That's the forest rule, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So you can see into it, but you can't see through
Yeah.
it. It's a vortex, not one. It's a vortex. Very different. And then turn 3 and 4. Oh, I should actually explain. Maybe I'll do the victory points at the same time. So yeah, turn 1 and 2. Yeah, it's difficult terrain or arboreal gloom. So essentially, it's a forest, a very large forest. And at the end of first and second turn, if you control a central objective marker, you get 200 victory points for each of those turns. Turn 3 and 4, it becomes dangerous rather than just difficult terrain. And if you're controlling it in the 3rd or 4th turn, you get 500 victory points. Turn 5 and 6, all units within the vortex also suffer D3 plus 1 strength 5 hits AP1 at the start of each player turn. Each player turn.
Yeah.
But in those
That's
2
worth-
turns, you get 750 victory points if you're like because I'm just thinking like you're in dangerous terrain. Every time you move, you're taking a 6th of the unit is taking wounds already, and then suddenly you hit turn 5 and everything's getting nailed every player turn. Like there's going to be so much attrition there that if you can hang on, and it just makes it so much victory points that everyone's just going to pile into this thing that's killing you. So
now, can I just hang on? So what happens with the whole? How does the scoring unit work there? Like if you get piled down and then you're below the 10, you're not then scoring anymore and you lose it.
You're not scoring it.
Yeah.
You just don't get the victory points. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens. The last little thing with it though, you can turn it off, and that's sort of the winning. That's how you defeat the Vano. So if one player scores 3 consecutive turns, gets victory points for 3 turns in a row, Vano's defeated, and the vortex collapses. Vortex disappears.
Okay, cool.
The objective mark is gone.
So you want to
Everything's
try and
gone.
do that early if you can and hold into that turn.
Yeah, because if
3
you can get it
once.
early, you can deprive your opponent of more victory points than deprive them of the opportunity to get more victory points than you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely in your interest to try and switch it off. And if you can do it early, that's good. Do it at any point, really, that's fine. But yeah, so that's probably the one that's got the most going on. But again, I don't think it's too complex. But yeah, anyway, that's Winter's Reckoning, guys. Black Arrow.
Nice.
Good. Very good.
Early autumn.
August. Do we want to? What time is it? We'll smash through. I'm going to smash through Castle quickly then while we're here. And ours is probably the most beta because it's almost there.
What is this? What is this?
These discussions while Josh has been talking, I've just been trying to ignore it. There has been a lot of interesting discussion.
I put a lot of
on
thought
the whole
into that scenario.
Bunch of children.
Os's comments too, which is interesting. There's been a big back and forth. It's been all, I think it's been all above board on, whether or not what's Warhammer, like is it a Warhammer army or not, which is kind of interesting. But yes, we are close to Castle Assault coming out. A few little things, as it is. It's 3 months away. Well, less than 3 now. So we've been a little bit hesitant to try and get it all up and running, but now we are pretty close. And this was the final sort of week of playing around with different comps and stuff. So I think we're getting pretty close, but we want to run through what we're currently done, and hopefully we'll get this out this week then. Any comments after this? I guess if you love or hate things, let us know, and then we might change them. We might ignore them. But yes, we have. What was that? Trying to Slaanesh.
Stop trying to Slaanesh us. Oh my God.
I won't cover the whole pack because you can wait till it comes out, and then there's some cool stuff about the what Castle Assault is. But anyway, we went Army Comp. So we decided, because I already talked to John, that we are aligning more with the tier system, not Josh's, which we did want to originally with Josh, but then we could put back and forth, and Cam's involved in ours too. So like, there's not just me and Andrew. So we were like going through it. Now I've changed I've added some stuff in here, which I still will need to change, just because I think from discussing what we just talked about before about the archetype thing, I almost felt like this gets close to it anyway, given the way we're doing these tiers and stuff. So we're going to be using the same tier system as, I'll just go to that, as Western Sydney Wargamers. There's a couple of things with Castle I wanted to make sure that we were trying to do as well, is we get a lot of, I reckon, what do you reckon, Andrew? A third of the field at least? Probably this will be the first tournament they've played since last Castle Assault. It's something like that sometimes. It's like, so what we actually tried to do is bring it back, I wouldn't say not straight match play, but we're mostly trying to use the match play concepts, because that's, at least it's out of the, not out of the book, but like it's sort of what, just point to that and go that. So that was sort of the reason why we ratcheted it back to a little bit of just victory points and stuff that are more around just what match play is. But we did want to try and do something to bring, we get people bringing Troll Horde to the games. We get people wanting to, like they do, there's a lot of Empire out there. And so that's why we thought, well, we'll go back to the tier list that John started to see, hopefully, well, we don't know yet, but hopefully that helps some of those guys bring that in. Now, the only thing is we're like, late August, so we are reserving the right to move some of these around based on the FAQ and even what happens with the July, once First Blood goes. If there's something, totally crazy, we might move some stuff. But at least people will have a guide from this week of, where it's going to sit. So I just wanted to preamble that one a bit. But then we'll go back to Army Comps. So basically we've taken bits from, because we were working with Josh on chatting through Old World Fanatic Comp, so to speak. So I've taken some of that stuff, but also just obviously we're factoring in the S tier, the tier stuff a little bit. So, and Josh, I don't know if you've seen this, but give me some feedback. Basically, I went back to Grand Melee and combined arms. So, because that is only one level 4, one level 1, and caps the percentage. And we're at 2,000 points, sorry. And caps that 500 point thing. And then the combined arm thing is the thing that gives you the, the 0 to 3. Like if there is no other restriction, it restricts you to that, 0 to 3 or 0 to 4, whatever it is, that sort of thing. Now, I made 2 changes there in line with what you'd already sort of done, Josh. We capped core back down to 0 to 3. So pretty much everything's 0 to 3 except for rare, which is 0 to 2. But I also made the distinction on here that no, you're still capped at 0 to 3 or up to 0 to 3 if you do have a specific restriction. Because in combined arms, that's that one that has that weird loophole that says, well, if you're already restricted to 0 to 3 per 1,000, that means you can take 6 cannons under combined arms. That's like how combined arms works. So I've just gone.
Yeah, right. So if there's already a restriction there, that's more forgiving.
Now, if you've got a 0 to 1 restriction per 1,000, well, then that still stays.
Yeah.
So you'll be capped at 0 to 2 for that one. So
wait, so you still got the Beastman Shaman graphic down the bottom. Are you still running on that, or
but that's for the character unit archetype because
it's for characters only. Yeah,
that stops this thing happening where you could go, well, I can still take 0 to 3 Shigengan Lords or heroes, whatever. Like, well, no, you can't. Sorry, you can't. Sorry, you can take 4, whereas now you can only take the 3. So it tries to limit it a little bit. That's all. I mean, I guess, look, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is go, you can't take 4 Night Goblin units. You can't take 2 Lords, 2 Hero Shigengan dudes. You can't take 4 Beastman Shaman dudes. So you can't get 4 Volatiles, that sort of thing. So that's what we've just tried to stop that spam, which
it just
boss is going to hate.
magnifies
But
broken
anyway, that's
things
what we're
in the
trying to do.
Yeah. Well, he can have his opinion, absolutely.
And then
He's not
obviously,
coming unless he can come if he likes.
Yeah. And then we did take some of the stuff. So we did the dead sober rule, and these are obviously, Castle Assault's about being drunk, so that's why some of these comments are like this. So the wizards are all drunk, so you only get the +1 cap on casting. Dead sober doesn't allow leadership, arise, or invocation, and 3 sheets. That's a beer. You can only have 3 sheety ghost things in your army. So yeah. So you can't spam. Everything's 3. Should call this the rule of 3 list. You can't have more than 3 ethereal things. But outside of that, it really is just think of 3. You probably can have 3. But outside of that, that's good. That's it. I don't know, Josh. That's sort of where we ended up. But I'm assuming there's some bugs there. I'll have to fiddle around with it. But I think that's sort of the gist of it. You know what I mean? The vibe. I've been
thinking about this Slayer thing. You can hit your 20% Slayer core with 3 units of 10 Slayers and 1 unit, 12, 10, and 10. And that's your core already done. Okay. So I would argue that's not you can still run Slayer quite easily with that if that was your
And that's in your one too, where it's 2250.
That was 2000. 2250, you might have to get a few more Slayers because they are 12 points of a model.
But
it's only.
But if they're in core, they're not. If they're in special and core, you're not going to say you can take another 3 in special. Is that what you're getting at? Because wouldn't you just be stuck to 3 per army?
No. Oh, you mean with Josh's archetype thing?
Yeah.
Like if you're running
maybe.
core.
I don't know. Mine's only characters.
Questions.
So maybe.
I'm just wondering if you're just going to have these giant Slayer bricks. Just 3 giant Slayer bricks.
Yeah.
Little angry boys running across the table. 3 inches per turn.
Do some bug thingies on that. So that's that.
It's good. It's a good sort of system. Otherwise, I like it. Yeah, I think it's very runnable.
What was the Black Sigil say?
3 sheets. I just saw that. Oh.
What was that? What's the 3? I'm trying to catch up.
Normally I donate to Josh for having such an amazing name. Thank you. Probably the best name in the world, I'd say. But here is a donation to Andrew's PLA fund.
Yeah. That's right. He's been doing a lot of printing.
Nice. You go to my medicine fund at the moment. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, so we have the kill point modifier. That's just all the standard sort of stuff. Now, this is where we vastly differ from Western Sydney Wargamers, and that overly complicated the whole thing. Our scenarios, they're all different. Like how you score them is basically different. So we've gone raise the standards. This is from Western Sydney Wargamers, but we also copied their original one, which is what was that? 1 hill. What's better than 1 hill? 2 hills. So we're putting 2 hills on game 1. But apart from that, the same thing. You got to just, it's just, you got to put models on it. And I guess the reason we were thinking is, and it's only 50 points for each hill. So basically trying to say, because I thought if we did 100 for each hill, it might make people just fight over a different hill and then there's no fighting. So this is the one where we have less victory points a little bit, because to get more victory points, you probably have to still get multiple ones. But yeah, we just went a bit dumb. We went, let's put 2 hills on. So that's what we're doing with this one. Apart from that, it's very similar to Western Sydney Wargamer 1. They're all designed mostly to hopefully get people to move across the board and get in the middle and fight and roll dice, basically. Apart from that, there's nothing else on that one. There's no other stuff. And then we have our strategic ground. So they're also named after trying to pretend you're battling towards a final sort of goal. So this is raising the standards is the first one. And they've got strategic ground, which is the first class shown each commander where the enemy is strong and where the ground itself may decide the battle. The next fight is for the ground. So this is basically spread out. So we've got deployment, what's it called? The domination setup. Throwing in baggage trains and domination, basically. So this is where we're leveraging just match play stuff, just pretty much match play. I think it's the same victory points as match play too, if I am corrected. So just in the event that they've got the match play or they've played that, they don't have to think too hard with that one. And then we've got Blood on Beaumont, Scenario 3, which was going to be close to one of the ones that John had run before, which was just like straight up kill. But we decided to move people a bit closer together, so 15 inches up the board, and doubled you don't get any other secondaries. It's just normal common objectives, but you get double everything, double general, double battle standard bearer, double standards. So if you're bringing standards for the first mission, obviously this is one where might be a liability as well. But again, pretty simple there's nothing to it. It's just, and this is also as well, game 3 on Castle Assault. I find most people just push across the board this is the gentleman's game, I call it, because most people are then sitting down by game 3. They're not standing up. I don't know if you guys find that, but
yeah, no, I see that. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
And that's day 1 basically. So so basically it's raise the standards. The what's it called? Strategic ground, then Blood on Beaumont. For people who don't know what Beaumont is, the actual place is on Beaumont Street in Hamilton in Newcastle. So that's why it's called that. And the next day, scenario 4 is Dawn Attack. We're going for strategic locations 3 and baggage train. So again, fairly similar. Now we changed it a little bit in terms of when you score stuff, but I'll get into that. But we do have a special rule here called Legion's Hangover. Every unit in every army, no matter what happens, is subject to stupidity on the first round.
On the first turn.
First turn. Everyone is stupid. Doesn't matter if you're undead, you're still stupid. You have to roll.
Oh, so funny.
Everyone has just got a hangover. So
it's just turn 1 only, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
we figure it's not going to cause too much
so funny.
issues.
No,
so
not at
probably
all.
alleviate it.
That's great.
It's
That's
not
so
too
great.
bad.
Well, no.
It's in theme with Castle Assault, that's all.
Yeah, someone's going to get boned. It's funny. So
yeah. Apart from that, it is just strategic locations 3. Now we did change I don't know why we're doing this in Australia. Well, we are, Josh and us, is changing it to just your own turns. So we've just 60 VPs per strategic location.
Yeah,
but in your turn.
It's half the paperwork and just as easy to do.
Yeah. So
that's why.
That's the only real difference with what I've put here versus match play. And then we go, Final Assault is Castle Assault. That's the name of the game. And this is the most weirdest one we are still trying to go through. But
yes.
So the tower hums with old magic and old grudges. Many battles have come and gone in the upper levels. I don't know if you get that, but that's where Castle Assault is. And no matter how many improvements are made, it's getting renovated. Both attackers and defenders alike never forget the epic struggles that have been fought. Today is no different. So I'm not convinced I'll do this deployment angle thing, but at the end of the day, its primary objective is hold the tower. You get 200 victory points at the end of your turn if you are in it. Now, this is with a scoring. So there's 2 of them up. The ones who are scoring units, I should have said that. If it is scoring like this, then it is similar to yours, Josh. It's 10 unit strength, combat order, that sort of thing.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry, if I should go all the way back, I skimmed it. Where was it? If you have to control an objective, it is combat order, unit strength. Just sort of stuff.
No banner. But
no banner.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What is happening with Black Sigil?
There's a bad things coming 3, so let's change that. Have a third donation for this awesome comp. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, hold your applause for the last one.
Yeah, because this one is going to get weird. Okay, so this is the whole goal of this. I don't know if we've got it yet or I've got it yet. Like, definitely, critique it. Is I want people to get in the tower and stay and get booted out of the tower. So like it shouldn't be hard. It should be actually quite hard to hold it, even though that's sort of an oxymoron because you think if you're in the tower, it should be sort of easy, but it'd be nice to be able to make it so you want to get in there, but you have to be prepared that you'll get booted out and you have to have other units to go back in. So that's where I'm trying to get it to, but I don't know if it is yet. But and maybe, Josh, we need to crank victory points even more to encourage that. But this is the only mission that allows you to
especially
occupy.
if you're making a net negative.
Yeah. So this is basically the scoring
rules.
unit.
It's a whole
unit
page
can
of
go
building
in.
rules. Yep.
Yeah, it is. So you can't fly in there. You can't magic yourself in. You can't march in. But you get in. Once you're in there, 360
So you
vision,
move
all that sort of
only.
stuff. Now, it is the wrong side of Beaumont. What I mean by that, Beaumont Street's a funny place. I don't know, people know that. So there's always weirdos walking around and stuff. So if you're in the tower, though, you're actually negative on leadership, but you do get extra magic res that does stack. So you're a little bit of defense against magic, but you are a little bit more liable to getting broken in combat. Get -1 leadership. Apart from that, you're in there, you can shoot half your garrison, same sort of rules, I think, that are in
You
match
can't
play.
shoot.
But then this is where it gets a bit weird.
So those are all just rules ported over from the building rules.
In match,
in one of the
you're not match play.
arcade guide.
In,
Maybe wasn't it the Cafe one or something?
yeah, one of them. Can't remember which one
Okay,
it is, yeah.
right. None of which anyone's ever played, by the way. No one's familiar with these rules going. Just even because you port it from the arcade, it doesn't help.
No, I know. No one does.
They're all like, what?
Well, actually, I almost ditched this. Like up to half the game, I just reckon let everyone shoot. Because, like, is anyone actually scared of 20 things shooting you?
It depends on what's shooting.
I guess, yeah, you could
What's
put
the band that was
10,
shooting?
mate. Ooh, 20 blunderbuss.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
That'd be
Chaos Dwarves, yeah, actually. So up to 10 attackers fight per round, but only 5 defenders, but the defenders have strike first. Attackers, you can count all your combat res, so magic banners, everything, and defenders just get +2 tower defense. So basically, they have to try cut
Plus
that
wounds.
10 attacks plus wounds, and they're +2. And then attackers can strike back with all their stuff, all their static combat res. And then obviously, the way the building rules work here, give ground fall back and Gordor doesn't do anything. But if you break, which you are -1 leadership, then that unit's gone. So I've been crunching some numbers with AI's help. And it feels like, depending on what you put in there, some of it's really good, but some of it's bad. And the averages end up in that you might hold it for 2 turns type thing. So, like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to play around with. And obviously,
So the intent is to make it quite a hard thing to hold on to, that most of the time you're actually going to lose the combat and have the unit break and disappear off the board.
What I'm hoping is people bring a couple of different units to be able to hold this thing, so they can jump in, lose one, put someone back in. So we'll see. But that's the idea.
You definitely need the
be
victory
a
points to be
swing and
worth
miss.
it, because if you're putting like a few hundred points of troops in it and you hold it for 1 turn and they get to and they break, you're like, oh, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, that's the thing. Maybe we need to jump it up. Now, this is the cool. Yeah, John's picked up on this. There is a lot of stuff, I think. And you know what? I don't mind if monstrous infantry is good, because I think they have to be. The ogres is the worrying one, because obviously they're actually not too bad. The other monstrous infantry armies, I'm like, good, put them in there. Yeah. So anyway, we will fiddle around with some of these things, but that's sort of the vibe check of it.
bit of refining and polishing.
Yeah.
So can I ask? So because when I put mine one up this afternoon about, you sort of just have the unit instead of the tower, and it's just a low linear obstacle on all sides, and then can't be disrupted. Then just play it from there. Was that too hard to dislodge? Is that?
I didn't even.
Is that what you were?
Where was that one?
In the
I must
WhatsApp
have
group.
missed it. Oh, I must have missed it. Yeah, I didn't. Sorry. So run me through that one.
Okay, I'll run you through. I'll put it up. So I will. Hold on, I can get it up. Where was it again? I gotta see.
Because I know Andrew threw ones up there as well, and
I threw it up like this afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's basically a single infantry unit of any size in combat order can occupy the tower by moving into it. Yeah.
Keep going.
And if it does so, you remove the tower and position the unit in its place, and the tower is now the footprint. While occupying the tower, the unit is considered to have a low linear obstacle on all sides, 360 line of sight, can't be disrupted, but can't make charges, and flyers here can't occupy it. And then and then the breaking that's it sort of thing, So then if it breaks from combat's destroyed, if the winning side, you can just take it if the unit does break, that kind of thing, and you sort of go from there. But really, the only rule is if they're in the tower, you play it as if they're surrounded by a linear obstacle.
Is that confusing because no one knows how to linear obstacles work?
Well, they're everywhere, so you would hope that they do. But I'm trying to play it within the rules of the game. So essentially, it is just loading the obstacle on the side. It can't be disrupted. And that sort of it abstracts it a bit, but with fewer rules.
Yeah, so I'll just go back to John's because John's saying 10 ogre models. Well, 10 ogre models can attack the thing, but they can't take it because they'd be over the 20 unit strength. Because it was in there 20 unit strength, this thing. Now they can attack it, but they just can't go into it, so that's fine. And then yes, I am saying we were implying that yes, you could actually put like 6 monstrous infantry in.
Yeah, you could.
And they are actually quite tough to take. But the idea is you might have 6 monstrous infantry in there, but we'll hit it with one of your better units. Or a monster. A monster can attack it, just can't go in it. So like a monster can come in and just rip them a new one. So there is... I mean, technically I said models, so technically you could attack it with a monster and another unit. I don't know if that's we might have to look at that edge.
Well, the only thing is you had that unit strength of 20 to even occupy it.
That's to occupy it, but not to attack it. Like you could, if someone puts a really good unit in there of like whatever. The Doom Bull just chilling. Yeah, so there is some good, but I don't know. I feel like, are we going to cry if there's lots of monstrous infantry running around in this tournament? Not really. I think I'd want to see that. Yeah. So. Anyway, we'll play around with some of it, but that's the vibe of where we're going to try, and it does culminate in
you just don't want
of a castle.
Too much stuff for people to read on the game 5.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, is that it?
Yes, that is it. That is Castle Assault.
I like it. Otherwise, no, it's good. But yeah, I think we're still going to work on that building.
yeah. It's just As soon as we decided we're going to put a castle there, it's like.
I get it. Yeah, you want the castle on there. But
they're so hard. Like
nothing worse than
all the additions, and there's just no really good building rules that are sort of like.
No. Yeah, it needs to be intuitive and something you don't have to remember more than 1 or 2 rules for. Otherwise, you can't constantly look back on the piece of paper to work out how this works, how that works. And to be honest, when in the middle of a tournament, you don't want to have to sit down and read a whole page of rules about how this thing works. I must admit, no one reads ahead of time. No one does. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. So anyway, that's we'll do some fiddling, and that's where it'll end up, hopefully. So, cool. We better
do the shout outs.
Yeah, do the patron shout outs. Let's get
shout outs. We've got a bunch of questions that actually are very relevant to the.
Oh, cool.
Not to this topic, but to the wishlisting topic.
Oh yeah, cool. That's okay. Oh, I've got to click paid. Okay, well, let's give our patrons a quick shout out. These people do help us turn up. Oh, God, I'm just looking at the second one. I can't even read it. These guys help us turn up and, yes, every Monday and help support the show. So they get their awesome shout out. So we have a big thank you to Jason. And then, oh my, fucking Snake Eyes is so soon. It's going to be lit fam. That's Danny Carroll. Zeppel.
Yep.
Sorry, I just clicked back on my thing. His was so big. Zeffel, Sexy Dan, Hobby Horse, Mark
Hobby Horse,
Shabismus, Gambler Dude.
That's like 8 N's on Sexy Dan there.
Oh yeah, Sexy Dan _
sexy.
Hobby Horse.
There we go. Nice.
Western Sydney Wargamers, Fudo, Biddy, Cathay Balloon Man 115, King Pash, and the Musto Rush. Tom Pickard, not Matt, Jess Tools, Adam Lamb, the Orange Juicer. From the people who brought you 2 girls, 1 monolith comes the even more disturbing horror sequel, 1 man and 1 glass monolith.
Oh no.
No. Maddie.
What are you doing?
Flybird 7137, Peter Holman, Mark Langley, Matt Hinton, the Old Warrior, Silver Dave, Sporadic Sanity, Mark, Dick, Graham Vanderbolch, Chris Bowler, Ben, Cam the Dentist, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, James McBride, Flatwell Jed, Sexy Jelly, Keelherd, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Perfity, Graf, Jess Tours, Wood Duck, Nananum, Daniel Broadstock, Elliot Mitchum, Gilthos Draconos, Diesel, Denny Gamer, Robert Z, Naughty Nozzles Plumbing. Interesting. I like that. The OJ Perler, Bobby Like a Breath of Fresh Ass Gherkin, Gunwitch, Zen Fox, and the OG, Todd Lloyd. It's all very, it ends very chill there and very, very safe for work, but the rest of them, not so much.
Well, I'm not sure about Bobby's one, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure. The rest of them were pretty chill. Oh, dear. That's funny.
Questions.
Indeed.
Mm.
Would you like me to read them out?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. I will. So we've got a few of them that actually are on one particular topic, which is actually carrying on. So Sean sort of starts it off. Zen Fox carrying on with Paddy's thought from a previous episode. What do you think about the Masters points for large points versus small, and 1 day versus 2 days, and the number of attendees? That's just the topic at large there, Sean. I think that's a lot to talk about.
That is.
I don't know if can we just address that first? I did have, because I was thinking about this a few weeks ago, and large points versus small points, I'd argue there's a better way of accounting for that, and that is rather than doing it per round in a tournament, like 3 rounds, it's 4 rounds, 5 rounds, because obviously, as would happen with my battle march, it was 5 rounds in 1 day, and it was really just a 1-dayer. Is that we could look at, especially now that you can do it in our rankings, maybe not the other events so easily, but do it per time, like per minute played, per round kind of thing. So if you've got longer rounds, like 2.5 hour rounds, that's worth there's 5 rounds of 2.5 hour rounds versus an hour 15, 5 rounds of an hour 15. Then that's actually something that, that's a piece of data that could, as I said, I'm not sure about BCP and stuff where that will pop up, but I know that all the rankings you put in the minutes. I don't know.
It's an interesting one. Yeah. Sorry, I just spoke. Entropy says, I think it's important we design a system that disadvantages South Australia, particularly because ASB is moving there.
Oh, it's ASB moving there.
Yeah. What do you think about, with the global rankings where you go off points deployed?
Yeah.
Which looks at points and rounds.
Is that including the comp?
Well, it wouldn't with tiers, but eventually it would, I guess. Is that what you mean?
Because the tiers will stuff up your points deployed a bit.
Yes, that would. Yeah. But that'll refilter back in.
But
that'll adjust.
I guess that's probably a good way to do it.
I guess would that solve? Does that not so much solve, but does that address what Sean's talking about?
I think to some extent.
I guess the question is though, even when you do that, though, you just have to come up with what is a benchmark for points deployed, which I guess you can sort of work out. Like if you're talking about 5-game 2,000 points, makes sense.
You almost need a benchmark for all 3 variables, because points deployed
and how many people,
how many rounds, and how many people, and they all should inform but I feel like the balance is not quite there right now, because I don't know, I feel like those really big 1-dayers, it's weird because we're never expecting to see them.
The points deployed does help push those 1-dayers up. That big, 50, 60 players in 1 day, 2,000 points would still be a very good tournament. You know what I mean? Versus it would beat one of the little small 2-dayers that only get 14 people.
Yeah, I think it wants to beat that, but a 2-day that's got 30 people probably should still be worth more. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it, where you sort of think about, okay, this specific scenario, how many points should you get from each of these sort of types of events? Sorry, so related question. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, you could actually do a different, you could go off those 3 variables, but have different, they're not equally weighted, you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
if you
different
thought
weighting.
number of games worth more than number of people, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like that's where it
Yeah.
gets complicated. If you
Yeah.
weigh them differently, then you've got different sort of capping amounts, you know, and there's a lot you can do mathematically to have fun with it.
It's turning into a different game as well. That's the other thing. Like if you've got like these smaller point games, it's so much different. Like to me, if you're going to be having a Masters and your Masters is a certain point allowance, like around 2K or whatever, you kind of like coming into that, wouldn't you want to be judged on similar events for 2K? Like if you got these like small cap sort of events, to me it's the same game, but it's quite different at the same time.
It is, but I always go back to this. One of my points I've always harped on is show me someone who's in Masters who's not a good player or got there because they played Battle March. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I reckon you put any of those Masters players in a Battle March event, I bet you they're still good at it.
Yeah.
Like at some point, they're just good at Warhammer. That's why when people go, it's not the same game, I go, it doesn't matter. Because I bet you they're still going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
If they play German comp, they're still going to be good. If they play straight out of the box Warhammer at Warhammer World, they'll still be at top and up there. So, like that's I don't know, that's what I feel I see. So anyway.
You're saying we should all stop worrying.
Probably.
I think you're probably right. But I have a related question. So Sean then asked, related question, : also, would All the Rankings support a 2-day 6-round tournament being run over 2 separate Saturdays? If Western Sydney Wargamers wanted to see the top 8 players from their last event into a top pod.
Ooh.
The next one.
So technically, I mean, yes. The only thing I guess would be different is it would need a little flag to say that. It would need a different, because right now the seeded, what's called the Swiss pairing from round 2 onwards would try and avoid your matchup, whereas all you'd need to be able to do is go, well, after a certain round number, you're allowed to repair the same players, because then it would automatically pick up the top 8 players and pair them again. So it wouldn't be. It doesn't out of the box now, but I'd see it eventually get there.
If you're saying if you ran it as the same event as such, rather than say you put it as a different.
Or you could do a different event, I guess, and just put those people in it if you did it that way. 2 days, 6-round tournament being run over 2 separate Saturdays. Yeah. I mean, that's the other option. You just run another tournament and manually put those people in. I mean, that's the other way.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Angelus, his question was, well, he brought it up a little bit. And then he sort of asked a question. With all rankings tracking player matchups now between specific players, are we going to see an ELO style system anytime soon? Rankings could still be based on other factors, but an ELO system could definitely be used to help set up pairings.
So I think what John's saying, and literally it's probably going in the next, I don't know, hopefully the next 2 weeks I'll have the matchups in there, the matchup facts, what's it called? Stats, all the matchups from the past rounds and stuff as well. So that would allow us then to do an ELO ranking. It's not that we'd retrofit anything, but definitely could just turn on an ELO number and allow then TOs to go, well, I'm going to match up based on ELO first, if you know what I mean.
Or at least a pool. Like you're not necessarily just matching up straight up.
Yeah.
But the top ELOs are in this pool, and then a middle pool, and a lower pool, and then sort of. You also might get a little bit of randomness between the pools and stuff. So it's a bit unpredictable. But I think that's a good way to do it. Not sure about running the full rankings off the ELO though. Because I was looking into it how tennis does it, because tennis is so relevant to Warhammer. And they do it's actually not dissimilar to how we run it at the moment, where you get rankings points for each tournament you go in, and depending how well you do, you get more points, and there's a capped amount, and you do it through the season, and that's actually quite a similar dynamic to what we have at the moment. I don't know, I feel like if you ran the rankings purely off ELO, I don't know, it doesn't reward people from going to these big events necessarily through the season in a different way. And I don't think it celebrates people winning an event in the same way. Like you go, oh yeah, I won, so I get a huge amount of points, go into the rankings and that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit drier almost. So yeah, no, I mean it could be a factor, I guess, but
yeah, and I guess to me
How we
it
have
still
it now is
comes
pretty
back
good.
to that whole deterioration of those values too, because I feel like that's why I put that in the decay factors into the global one, because I don't know if you want to encourage people to be playing and not just going, well, I was really good 2 years ago and I've got a high number and just stays there.
Yeah.
Because to me,
it should decay.
I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
Obviously, I build that ranking thing, and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to. But I do selfishly go, well, it's not just about the number; it's also about keeping people involved in the community. So if you want to keep your number, then you have to play games. Yeah.
So, the other questions
how many of
the other things I have are that's all the questions I have. It's all the other stuff is wish listing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Ooh.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Which we got half an hour. It's probably a good time to pivot into what we may or may not see.
Yeah, let's do that. Because I mean, basically, half the time when we were talking about all this comp stuff, it was some of it's trying to address some of that stuff probably a little bit as well. Some of it, not all of it, but yeah.
Not all of it. Not all of it. But there's a range of balance things, but also just how the game works that they could look at altering. I mean, I assume there's going to be an FAQ in June. We've had so little news for so long. Almost makes you wonder. The longer that goes for, the more I start to go, is there actually something bigger coming? Is there actually going to be a second edition or something? Because there's a comment from Mark. Also, all the starter battalion boxes, other than Wood Elves and Dwarves, are no longer in the online store.
Now, is that just the UK? Because I know the Australia always ends up still having.
I don't know. I haven't checked Australia. I haven't verified it myself.
Well,
could be
sorry. Can I just? Because I think we'll be talking about this for the rest of the show. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I'll bring up my little nerdiness. So actually, I won't bring it up because I haven't bothered sharing. But I did. I did click on the Games Workshop share price the other day because I noticed it jumped 7% on Friday. And I was like, oh God, what happened there? And there was like a couple of news articles came out because Games Workshop released, because it's not that they don't have their reporting yet.
Are you sharing that? Do you want me to pop it up?
I can share it. Yeah, if you want. Yeah. Games Workshop profits climb as Warhammer Maker sees record sales. Now, obviously, we don't have their end of financial because that's after the 31st of May. But they basically jumped. Well, you can see it there. So 625 million for the year ending 31st of May, upwards of 565 million pounds. So, it'll go into some discussion down there. But basically, it's sort of going back to. I thought it was a little bit in line with what you were talking about, Josh, because when I think back for the last year. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not 100%. Like, Old World is what was pumping out, like, at that time. Do you know what I mean? Like, 40K.
It's entirely due to Old World. Nothing else, no other factors. Old World is.
Like, well, obviously making a lot of money, but you see such a big jump.
Rocket.
Like, that's a 20% increase or whatever. And they actually also said in that report that their licensing revenue was down. So that it's not from like computer games and stuff. Like, it actually came down. So this was they made a lot more plastic crap sales. And I think that does then align potentially with the idea that, Old World did very well. Yeah. And then to your point, like Cathay was obviously in there. What does this mean with this big dark gap that we're being in? To go back onto your point, Josh, if you want, like you're just saying, like, is this making you feel more, there is something big coming?
It makes me wonder. I mean, we have had periods, I think a couple of years, wasn't it the end of the year before last when we're kind of waiting for, we're still waiting for all the armies to be released. And we had this, 2 or 3 month period where they just got nothing. And we're still waiting for like 4 different factions to even get their models released, and
Yeah.
that was, we're getting some spottiness back then.
Yeah,
then it seemed like the dams broke, and then we got all the like the 4 like Wood Elves, Beastmen, High Elves that all came out in like 4 or 5 months, and then suddenly we had a Cathay, then we had another 3 Arcane Journals since that, leading into the end of last year.
And then they threw Marauders in.
Yeah, they had the Marauders, and we're just like overwhelmed by how much stuff. Oh yeah, like it was just, there was a different time then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now since November or something, we have not had any. Like we knew we were getting those peasants back in November or whatever it was, and that's the only thing that's come out. So it's been a big drought.
Yeah, it's been a massive drought. I mean, we have the new edition of 40k, I guess, coming through. It hasn't even released yet though, but I will. Let's just return to the old world itself, though, shall we? And think about. Sorry, let me read out a wish list. Who will I read out? I'll read out Mark's one because he was the first one to put one through. So FAQ wish listing June. Look at. Let's see. Okay, cannons. It's got 5 things on here. Cannons is the first one. Please give an easy to use, 100% definitive explanation on exactly what can target over what and how terrain interacts.
Well, you don't want like the cannon just to stop on a hill. Yeah. Or like shoot over whatever it is. Yeah. Like guess over a forest. Yeah. No, totally agree.
Guess over a forest. Yeah. That'd be nice. Rewrite and be fully clear exactly how skirmishes work. No half measures. I mean, skirmishes are a bit, they just haven't quite got there. Oh my god. I do wonder sometimes with skirmishes if you increase the amount of models they had to be within to maintain coherency. If they had to be 2 or even 3 models, whether that would force a lot more blobs, and therefore you're not going to get all these strings appearing that just fuck up the game. Terrible.
Ranks. Hang on, I think John just put that there.
Yeah, John agrees with you.
Put
them in ranks. I don't know. I don't mind the blobs, but I feel like they need to be blobbier and not stringy. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I go with that. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole other stuff with the line of sight and making contact, and it's just so much. So maybe
charging skirmishes, all that sort of weird shit. And then,
it's all over the place.
Maybe there were some great things they did. Better. You put a skirmisher in front of a unit, the skirmisher's got to it turns to the unit. Like I like some of those little changes where you used to put like a little character out in 8th edition, little Night Goblin boss came out and the whole unit had to swing around 90 degrees to charge the front of this little Night Goblin dude that you just shot out the front. Like they got rid of that crap, but that's about the only good thing they added.
And then number 3 for Mark was Cathay. Just balance issues, cannons, shoot Gingans. Yep. That's just spamming more than anything. But they could be better.
Rule of 3, people. Rule of 3.
Rule of 3. Yep. We've got to love it. Everyone loves it. Number 4, bows, make them in line with other missile weapons. This is a good one, actually. This is a broader change that I think would be good. Make them in line with other missile weapons regarding a armor bane armor piercing, i.e. long range armor bane 1, short range AP1. Yeah. I feel like bows
make them in line with other missile weapons. What does that mean, though? Like, is other missile weapons do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure there are many that other do a long range, half range.
I like the idea, but yeah.
Maybe just means more access to AP in general.
Yeah.
And while we're on that, because John just said that while we're talking about mundane weapons, spears working with parry would be nice. I think spears would like a buff,
or what he just
ASF
posted there.
With Cathay spears. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
What would you do with halberds then in this game? If you did that, sword and board is solved now with the way it's done with parry. And then
sword and board is solved, isn't it? Like you could, I actually really love the parry rule, right?
But when are you bringing halberds? What are you going to do with that?
What are halberds do? Because didn't halberds get FAQ'd to something else? So what they used to be? Like I actually, I haven't looked into the halberd rule for ages.
They got strength and AP, but no one
Yeah.
takes them still. Halberds are fine; they get strength, but the problem is
I think it just depends on what you got. Like if you've
the
got
problem-
access to plate.
John's
then-
probably right, but the issue is you're not bringing infantry to carve through people. So, like, you go, well, I'll take the sword and board, probably. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
If there was, you know what would change? Now I'm going on a tangent here, but you know what
Oh, go
potentially
for it,
would
man.
make some, because he's probably right. Like, the halberds have got better AP, like damage stuff. You give infantry, you give the spears something that's a little bit special, either like against certain like cav or ASF, that sort of stuff, and then obviously sword and board are defensive. But what's sort of missing is there's not the variability in 8th of the types of buff spells that you could put on infantry. Right now you've got like demonology. Outside of that,
Hmm.
well, you got -1 to hit. Like there's not as much stuff you can throw into different, not different versions of it. You know what I mean? Like if you had like different enough, like if you read the magic laws to give you enough different buffs, then you'd go, cool, I'm going to take halberds and take this law and really go crazy, giving them weapon skill 10 or, like strength 10 or whatever you used to be able to do with. What's the one that used to take grey magic? What's that one called in 8th where you used to take the weapon skill, leadership, what the fuck, as strength? What was that one?
Oh, are you talking about Mind Razor?
Shadow? Mind Razor, yeah. What was the rules on that one?
Yeah, your strength is your leadership,
Yeah.
which is insane.
yeah.
Absolutely insane.
But do you know what I mean? Like if you had like
6
if you had
dice, Mind
different stuff
Razor.
like that,
Classic
that'd be
eighth
cool.
eighth.
I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking. Maybe the problem here is world just needs a refresh of magic because it's gone a bit weird because half the spells are useless, and that might bring in some of the cool.
Yeah.
John brings up a good
abilities
point,
back.
which is they always need to fight in 2 ranks. Now, I feel like that might make more value on more offensive mundane weapons. Because
Mhm.
part of the reason why parry is so popular is because it's always on and, it keeps the dudes alive. And sometimes you're charging, you don't only get 1 rank of attacks. If you had 2 ranks of attacks, maybe you'd be
i.e.
more tempted to run halberds, because you're striking first, you're running with two ranks. Actually, so it's rather than changing the rules of the weapon itself, maybe that's what needs tweaking.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And skirmishes. He's got skirmishes there again. Wait.
Yeah, I know. That's
Okay.
what I love. So that's Mark's thing. It's so cool because it's like 2 of the 5 are skirmishes, which I think is true.
Yeah. I think it's a repeat, but that's fine. And then I've got John's here. I'm loving that I just read out Patreon content. This is great. Without having to think myself. Because John, this is why I brought this up. And he as a topic, and he was like, make elves great again. Well, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I want to talk about it. Because the standard core elf is just very sad. It's just really sad. They dropped some of the point values in Wood Elves last FAQ, and I really wonder whether or not they will go have another go at that for High Elves and maybe for Wood Elves again in the next one. Like that's they've got a track record of doing that, and I wonder if they'll go again with it. Because even for Dark Elves, because as Val's made very clear, Dark Elves have sort of got a bit of a significant ceiling over their heads because of all the existing elf factions and where they are, and I think it's very responsible that he has just gone like, no, I can't buff them any more than what they are because of the 2 other elf factions. These are the precedent. I'm going to stick with that rather than him going off on his own sort of tangent and doing what he likes, which I think is actually very important, very restrained. I like it. John has suggested either give him ASF or give better armor or both. I don't know. I feel like a point reduction would be all you need. I don't know that they need much rule changes, really. It's just like they pay so much for the stat line they get.
I think if you did something with the bows as well, though, because like right now, I just don't. Are you even scared about walking across apart from freaking it's the sisters. They're actually scared of elf shooting at you, like high elf. I'm talking about.
No.
Probably not, which is pretty dumb. Like every movie you see, like the elves just like just whole ranks of people dying because they're so
Yeah.
accurate.
True, but I
don't
mean,
see
you've
any of
never BS shooting's never been more than ship damage. It's a shame that the panic checks, that come from shooting that used to actually
Is
be quite
also
important
useless. Yeah.
is quite irrelevant, partly because of the fallback in good order effect, or even if you fail the panic, you can still just rally and move again. So there are some game rules that do neuter the psychological effects. The veterans everywhere, like all that kind of stuff. So it makes it so hard for panic to be relevant, which I would argue is actually a really important part of BS shooting, more so than the wounds taking, but the psychological effect, almost like same as War Master, where you had the pushback effect from shooting, which is it's less casualties and more that same effect. And I think that's a good way of playing the game, where the shooting shouldn't necessarily be having that much casualties, and it's just chip damage and that type of thing, but just enough to, cause some panics.
So you're saying the panic as a fallback in order, though, is still okay?
No,
no,
I'm saying it's part of the problem.
No, I know, but then you just said War Master was all about pushing him back, but I guess they don't have a.
They didn't have
mechanic.
It's a completely different mechanic.
Yeah,
so
that's what that it was doing. It instead of doing wounds, it would push things back. That was the mechanic of shooting essentially in War Master.
Okay.
Also, that's how I remember.
I was just wondering, is with the way the old world's written, a lot of the stuff is like some rules hanging off another rule, which hanging off another rule. So, like for example, fallback in order, it's actually a flee. That sort of weird shit. And is that part of the problem where the fallback in order was a cool thing that got put in, but realistically, it's a combat thing. Like you're fighting and you're falling back. And then suddenly, because it's a flee and a panic, it gets piggybacked onto something that probably shouldn't have been. Like a panic check should always be a flee. It shouldn't ever be a fallback. And I know they've added it in there that if it's under 50, not under 50, you don't. But that feels like you're right. Like just scrap that shit and just let them run away.
Yeah, because it's so minor that it's easy to forget to even bother to roll the dice because it doesn't matter that much, So whereas if you risk of fleeing, then it's actually so important. Interesting with John's response is that the only problem with point reduction is you might end up with Horde Elves, which is a fair counterpoint.
Yeah.
You don't want a Horde Elf army.
The thing, and that's thematic, and then I was going to bring that up, is the whole point of elves is they're not just awesome archers, but they're great warriors as well. And then you got these like elves that are basically almost a human stat line, just a pip of weapon skill. And it's like it doesn't really seem to. They're meant to be quick and agile and deadly. That's why it's like that +1 to hit or always strikes first. Like to me, that's a lot more thematic.
The fact that they've detached strength and strength and AP and all that sort of stuff. Like strength is is it that bad if elves were hitting on 2s more and 3s? Like even that, they've still got to punch through stuff and they're not always the best at punching through. I mean, white lines and all that probably are, but I sort of feel like they should be pretty good at fighting like that. And I'm sorry, I just put this up because this is related back to the Fabigo thing, and this is your pet peeve right near the beginning, Josh. That falling back should not allow you to bloody reform.
Oh, you mean the beginning
position
back in the start of the game?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
totally agree.
So ridiculous. Absolutely agree, Josh. Josh's think alike apparently. I think that's it'd be interesting if we could buff the elves. Do we have anything else here?
Yeah, look at John. Look at John's this one. Murderous could be +1 to wound. Martial prowess +1 to hit. I mean that, and wood elves would have +1 to hit on your shooting or something like that. That'd be cool if split it across. High elves are good at fighting. Dark are good at wounding, and wood elves are better at shooting and doing some damage. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, well, you just did that +1 to hit with range. Yeah. That'd be cool. I like Mark's point. The issue is GW tried to pigeonhole each faction and they simply got all... I'm assuming... Hang on. Now I'm getting confused. Do you mean Elven factions wrong or all 11 factions wrong?
No, it's down two down.
You could probably read it either way.
Yeah.
No, he did correct it, Elven.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked it though. I liked it as 11. I thought it was funny. That's cool. Yeah, I don't really have any particular solutions for elves aside from that. But unfortunately, you can go very easily go the other way sometimes if you give them a significant buff. I don't know. It's
Having said that, like, sorry, when we just were talking about horde armies, what do you define as a horde army though? Like, so not even I shouldn't say horde army, but tell me the point level of a unit or a model that then you start going, oh, that's hordy.
Yeah.
And I know someone mentioned 7. Yeah, see, I would probably think in that 4-5 range.
Yeah. The price of a Bretonnian men at arms is about what I'd be thinking it'd be horde.
Yeah, maybe a cheap orc. I don't know what a normal orc is. Not a black orc, but like a normal orc. What are they at? They're probably more than that, obviously, but
they're probably more than that. But an elf spearman is 8.
And humans would be like 7 or something, aren't they? Oh no, they're probably, I don't know what they are now.
6.
They used to be 7s, but they might be 6s, yeah. And so I think humans and elves could be in that middle ground where you can hoard them if you want. And I don't reckon that's against fluff. Like you could still have lots of
not
elves.
necessarily. Yeah, you can have like if you drop it by even if you drop by 1 point, like I feel like you just make them a bit more takeable than they are. Like I don't know. They are useful. It's just that when you have it suddenly when you pay a whole lot of 250 points for this block of core spearmen, you're like, that's a lot of points for what I'm getting.
Yeah.
But ultimately it is, I think, a point problem, really. Because a lot of the baseline rules for infantry and stuff have really been improved a lot, and infantry can do some work these days.
I think out of if you're talking about FAQ,
if you got the right scenarios,
wish listing for what you probably could get in June, I agree with you though, Josh. Like they probably might be more tempted to just push around some points. I don't think you're going to see like a rewrite of skirmishes or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd leave that to.
I think they're going to leave. Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to leave a lot to second it. I don't think they really want to change. They're going to change massively. Like last year's FAQ was huge. It changed so much of the game, and it really improved it a lot. But yeah, I agree. I think they're actually priming for a second end, which hopefully will be more of a revision of the game rather than a full revamp.
Yeah,
which I'm absolutely keen for. Can't wait to see what they do with it in that regard.
Yeah, but although 40k seems like they have like heavy rules adjustments quite regularly. Not obviously it's like in a different part of Games Workshop, but I don't know if there's some overarching thing where they're trying to keep people happy with regular rules updates to fix issues.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone like for people who just play Old World and they go, oh, the big blue book's basically useless, which it is because they've changed so much stuff. But I mean, 8th edition rule book, their biggest game, biggest money maker was useless as well after like the 3rd like FAQ or something. So like that's their biggest game with the most developers, and they still invalidate that book. So, and I'm talking about large swathes of it that had to be redone, and they redid bits multiple times. Like
multiple times
and all that. Yeah, they tried. I think Flyers went through 2 major big changes. And some of the codexes, massive changes to 2 of them, at least that I can think of, probably more actually, which just invalidated them. Like basically from the day the book hit, it was invalidated to the point where they rewrote chunks of it. Like for adaptive, what's the gold dudes, the golden guys, whatever they're called. Adepti, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're called. The souped up Space Marines. Those
Yeah.
You can play 40k.
Oh, it's annoying me.
Yeah.
The real expensive guys.
Votan got a heap of different. Anyway, like it's not 40k podcast, but like it's just funny. Like I think you're right. Like, it doesn't matter that it's going to happen. Even in version 2, something will happen and they won't get it right. But as long as they're fiddling with it, it's fun. What did John say on this next comment though? Michael's the cannon part's different. Sorry, he's got cannons just need a little bit less accuracy, effectiveness. Maybe initiative test fail to make it D3+1. Otherwise, minimum damage or something. It's weird. Like remember when the game started and everyone just didn't take cannons? Everyone thought war machines are crap.
Yeah.
And then now we're still saying cannons are OP'd and they're not the D6 that they used to be.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I don't think anyone's changed their mind on template weapons. And yes, it would be nice if they didn't have to do a 4-up to partial. Just, I feel like everything being hit that touches the template would be totally fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I
But
think
yeah,
most of them are
cannons
just 3-inch
are
templates.
real problem.
So,
Yeah.
That's your 2-shot cannons.
And then I think Forsaken Darkness.
the problem, or the fact that you can spam some of them, and you got the
It's
double
definitely
cannon
spam.
shot problem as well.
Yeah, the overload is pretty nasty.
Yeah,
That's a pretty. Yeah, it's just too much shot at once, isn't it? You're getting like 4-6 shots at the first up for a very reasonable price, and then they come through with that movement debuff as well, which is nasty.
Yeah.
Forsaken Darkness says, make cannons and all war machines actually have to pivot and only shoot from their front arc. It's crazy you can turn a cannon from the back of the model at a random angle just because it has a skirmish of rule.
Ooh.
That's a controversial statement. Forsaken Darkness. I know what you mean, but if they just had a front nine, maybe a 180 arc, maybe I could.
Was it 9th? Did they go to 180? Something went 180.
Yeah, I think so.
What was that Kings of War? Maybe it's Kings.
Maybe
One of
it was
them I
King.
remember seeing a diagram that just says the 180. But yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it would make you deploy
Maybe
them
whack.
definitely at the back, to get bigger arc as big as you can in case people get round the side. Because I'd assume what you're saying is if you have to pivot, then if you're ponderous, you can't shoot. Is that right?
You would I would imagine so. Yeah, because there's no other way of doing like a minus to hit or anything like that consistently. So yeah, you would have to.
Probably too much of a restriction.
Probably too much of a restriction. You could argue there could be more minimum range options, like to rely on grape shot and stuff. More theme in that way. But yeah, I probably wouldn't want to fiddle with the line of sight arc too much.
A cone of sight. What's a cone of sight? Oh, sorry, you're saying total war. Have a 90-degree arc or cone of sight. Okay. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys can think of that you want in the FAQ?
I want them to fix move through cover. I say it every time. I hate it.
As in the
Dropping
charge
that
bit,
dice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I hate
dropping the die.
Yeah, it's just the movement modifier. It's so ridiculous. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Keep the -1 to movement. I don't care about that. But get rid of the friggin' dropping the charge off. I hate it.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love them to simplify the conditions on poison, on frenzy.
I was going to say, just
find a
scratch
second rank.
those FAQs out. Just reduce
Just
take it out.
just
Or
make everyone
a
fight in
Raz's
2 ranks.
whatever.
All the infantry fight in 2 ranks. Make the frenzy fire every turn. Poison just is on 6. It's just easier to remember and play the game. And I feel like it's better balance.
And it just goes back to how it was. Yeah. And actually, you validate your rule book back again a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reversing some of those erratas, people have to scratch out where they put those little stickers on. Oh no, stickers in the way.
Sorry, this one, Matty said make flaming great again. Yeah, what would you do about like if your comment about templates, Josh, with the war machines, if you did that, because that would then flow into template weapons. Flaming breaths and stuff. Do you reckon that would bring some of that? Do you reckon people would use that a bit more for breath weapons?
I think so. Yeah, breath weapons would be quite become a lot more effective, I would argue. And Mr. Hates Rule 3 asks, did you guys really talk about linear obstacles? Which no, we haven't actually. Because that's actually probably a pretty big topic that we didn't even get to.
I'm still confused about. I don't know. Is that what you mean? Like, as in, what does it do? Or
what it does or how it works, I guess. Like, is it actually providing the function that they want? Because what is it essentially? Everything is with one attack. Nothing's in basic contact.
Yeah, no stomps.
Is it actually how it should?
Disrupted, whichever way
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. What it used to be in 8th, was it -1 to hit or something? Or 6?
There we go.
No, -1.
Yeah. LO should be torn up and redone completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And not
like,
function.
yeah. Again, it's one of those things where I just feel like they tacked all these different things on, and then they've had this quick knee-jerk reaction in the FAQ, and then it's just confused.
Yeah, a -1 to hitting combat, that'd be totally fine. Like
Or a
it's just
+1
something
armor
minor
like
like that. Yeah, or +1 to armor.
It's just
Like
easy
that's
stuff.
It's such a bizarre. It's really such a goofy rule. I think. Oh no, you're not in base contact. That's it. You're like, what? Yeah.
There's so many ways though. Like just that. I know this game is about square bases and stuff, but there's so many things that aren't in base contact. Like even just like challenges. Are you in base contact with? Like there's so many conditions if you make a rule that you have to literally be base contact.
Yeah.
That just become edge cases when other things happen. And so, I just think they need to redo that. And then challenges are another big one. They are such a colossal flavor fail currently. They're always about somebody trying to dodge attacks and never about actual. Yeah. And it's always been like that though.
Yeah, it is.
There's no reason not to.
Historically, that's always been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be hard to change.
Like you could, I don't know. I was going to say
they've toned it down a bit. Like I think it's kind of, but like you said, it's always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't mind the change to the initiative steps within the challenge, like that. That seemed bizarre when they put it out, but in practice, it has nerfed nasty characters.
Dragon,
I mean, it's weird because then it seems to puts a lot of value on having the same initiative step for your rider and your mount kind of thing, which is an unfortunate gamey sort of result of that rule. But as a concept, making it harder to get maximum overkill is fine. I mean, would it have been simpler just to reduce the max overkill to like +3 rather than +5?
Yeah,
I don't know, but the way they've done it is a thematic way. It's just that you just suddenly people are valuing. If I put a great weapon on my dude, then he's charging in the same initiative as the mount, and then they all get a strike. Which is bizarre.
I don't know. I'm struggling to actually, like, outside of the big game stuff, I just struggled to go, what are they actually going to fix in an FAQ? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everything is bigger, apart from like some points changes to play around with some variability. I think I sort of hope they don't gut it too much and we just rather put the effort into seeing version 2 at some point, which maybe that's what's.
Hopefully that's what they're doing. That's my optimistic sensitivity.
I think Mark's always been behind the thing that we're going to be very happy for the second half. So we'll just see once this 40k stuff gets pushed out over the next few months with Games Workshop. Hopefully we'll see what happens for Old World. I think that's our limit though, guys. We hit the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not that we're not looking at that, but I think everyone's starting to get a bit tired here now tonight. So have you guys got anything else? Or is that, I know.
No, I'm done.
I kept going down here. I was like blowing my nose. Everyone's like, what the hell was Andrew doing? I just got this big bin full of like gross tissues I got to throw out now. Lovely.
Good. Anyway, okay, well, that was good. I'll take some of the feedback for Castle as well, but we'll get that out. And then obviously Josh has got his. Probably don't have to patch. Maybe you do have to patch. I'm not sure.
I'll have to look at the Slayers thing. I mean, I don't know if anyone's even taking them because no one ever takes them anyway. So I don't know why. I'm not going to lose. I refuse to lose sleep over the Slayers. But if someone really wants to take them, they can message me.
No worries. Cool. Oh, well, thank you for listening to another episode of Old World Fanatics. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. Please leave some likes, subscribes, and comments as you do. I know a bunch of people obviously on the live stream did, but if you're listening to this back, do appreciate it. Until next time, next week we do have Snake Eyes list review. So we'll be going through all that. One of the biggest team events in Australia, which is coming up next week. Well, sorry, coming up in June, but the lists are coming out this week. So, yes, looking forward to that next week. Other than that, guys, I've got to get some scenery painted. Hopefully we'll have some hobby next week. So there we go. Up until then, guys, I'll let you all go and get back to your night, your day, all that sort of stuff. See you next week.
Right.
Cheers,
Yeah.
guys. Bye.